How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. My name, of course, is System Z, and today is episode 92. We're getting close, even closer to episode 100, and I made a big deal about that last episode, but yeah, the countdown is real, guys. But yes, welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. Today is going to be a pretty important episode, and I've gotten a lot more done since the last episode. There is a zombie somewhere in here, but I don't really think I want to explore that. I need to light this up before zombies spawn in here. But yes, okay, so we have done quite a bit over here. As you guys remember, we built the church last episode, and I finally put in those trees and all the landscaping over here and over here. I mean, look at this place. This place looks amazing. And then, of course, the church all kind of buried away in the nice, awesome, landscaping and everything. I'm really proud of how this area is turning out. And really cool ideas from this. A lot of you have said this kind of looks like some sort of grape farm, like a vineyard. That would be a cool idea. But like I said, I'm going to use this for a stable. But I might share that design with something else in the village. Who knows? But yeah. So this is turning out really, really cool, and we're actually getting really close to being done with this village, believe it or not, other than the actual keep. And I want to show you that really quickly by flying on up this hill and just kind of crash landing here. So, oh, wow, I almost just died. Good gosh, wow, that was close. So yeah, okay, so this is kind of, well, it's kind of hard to see, but this is mainly the village. There's going to be most of the housing on this side and the farms on this side. And then we'll have an occasional building here and there, and then a keep up here. Now, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to do to clean up this as a background, make it look more like a proper mountain instead of just chopped up mountain and brokenness. And then this is going to be smoother. There's a lot I have to do. But that's all stuff I can do off camera. As far as on camera work, we probably have just a few more episodes of things to do, which is awesome because I love having things going so smoothly and quickly. But yeah, today we're going to be working on the farms and talking about how to build in Minecraft as an entire subject. So grab your snacks and your drinks and, popcorn and everything like that. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and let's get straight on into it. So I've got this pathway in place. As you guys can see, it's made out of this green concrete. This is where we're going to be putting our pathway because, I do want the farm to be accessible and not just a whole bunch of wheat everywhere. So we're going to be putting it mainly over here, like I said in the intro. Now that being said, I've got to clear out a lot of this grass, which is what I'm doing here. I must have some water. Yeah, Death Strider. Okay, that makes more sense. I was wondering why I could just move around like that. But yeah, so I just need to get rid of some of these and kind of get it going. But I've decided that we're just going to focus mainly on wheat for the farm. I'm not really going to do beetroot or anything like that. I do like the idea, but the color of green just doesn't look good in this area. It's just really vibrant, whereas wheat is yellow, and it would just kind of fit better in my own opinion. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. But it isn't going to be your standard farm. It's going to be pretty cool. But while I kind of clean this area out a little bit more, I do want to say thank you so much to everybody for the past few episodes in terms of how you've been commenting and leaving thumbs up. We have broken about 100 likes on every single episode of the LP since I've been back, which is amazing to me. You guys have no idea. That shows all kinds of support, and that really means a lot. And then not to mention on our Discord server, a lot of you have joined that, and we're kind of getting live on there. So that is awesome. We're kind of really getting things going. It's in full motion right now, which is awesome. But yeah, so we've got pretty much everything cleared out here. So now you can kind of properly see this pathway. The idea I have is that it's going to curve through here, and I either want it to come out here, which I don't know because it seems more like a side path, or have it kind of go in between these two houses, or the church and this building, and then just kind of come down here as a little step. That probably would be better, I think, because this over here more looks like just a garden pathway, and probably wouldn't work as well. So I think we're going to do it over here, but the pathway isn't what's important here. This is just a placeholder so I know what to work around. We're going to go ahead and get the farm started, and I have everything I need here in this back of building, as you can see. Mainly seeds and leaves. That's all we're really going to be working with today, and then of course water. But this is going to be a very interesting design, and I have an image I'm going to put on screen now Yeah, look how amazing that is. Look my art skills. Leave a thumbs up for my art skills. Isn't that awesome? So the plan is that we're going to basically have the pathway just as we normally would. As you can see, it kind of matches what I had before. And then the farms that are kind of around it, and then a windmill, and of course 2 other buildings, which I already have actually laid out here. So that's kind of the plan for today. A lot of off-camera work, I think. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go do something that we really need to do first. We need a tool, and not just any tool. This tool has to be an amazing tool. A tool that has the power to bring everyone together in the world. A diamond hoe. Oh yeah, very majestical. So we did need one of these. It's a little bit more than I probably needed, but at least it's not enchanted. That would take it a little too far. But yeah, okay, so this is where we're going to be working. I actually don't know if I should do it there or here first. This is going to be tricky without a good aerial view, but I think we'll probably do it here first. So the first thing I want to do is kind of figure out where we want the farm. I'd like the pathway to be 3 blocks wide, so this is probably going to be where the main farm sits. So that being said, I'm going to have, I guess, a block of water there. And then we'll have one kind of 8 blocks away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and kind of have it curved in. And then we need one more. Now I'm going to get rid of this body of water here soon, because that's where we're going to be putting that windmill. And I'll probably end up doing that next episode. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we go. So that should be good for about 2 sides of this farm. Now, this is going to be the main design. I'm going to kind of go over it while I'm doing it, but while we get the kind of dirt tilled and everything, I want to kind of talk about, you know, how to build, because I feel like I see a lot of comments now where you guys are, you know, asking me either how I've gotten so good, or what tips I can give, or, you know, how you love to build but you just don't feel like you're making any progress, or even just how to get better at, you know, building. And that's kind of what I wanted to make this entire episode about. Because I feel like building is such an important thing in this game. It's essentially all that will allow it to be a game that lasts forever. Because, you know, there is a story behind it, but if you're not really creative in it, and you don't build and use the building aspect to your advantage, eventually you will get bored of the game, and no one really likes the idea of that. So for me, the fact that I've been able to be creative and express, you know, my thoughts through building has really made this game last longer than any other game. And you know, no one likes to build if they don't ever get better at it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, is how to get better at gaming. And you know, or not gaming, building. Gaming is kind of the same thing if you think about it, but really it just takes practice. And I know that's not what you want to hear, because that's the cliche everybody knows, but as I recall hearing, the secrets to life are hidden behind the word cliche. There are a lot of things that you can do to get better at building that would kind of require just study and, you know, maybe cheating in some way, or copying, I guess. But realistically, if you really think about it, the only way you're going to get better at building is if you practice. But I don't think that's the only thing. I think one of the biggest things about it is that you have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone. That is where the real issue steps in. A lot of people don't like building things that they've never built before. I know that sounds a little weird, but if you think about it, you probably build more houses than anything, right? How come you don't build temples, or, you know, build farms? I know a lot of people probably build farms, but they probably do it in the normal way, not like this. You know, how many times do you build a castle? Well, that's probably more common. I'm trying to think of different things, but, you know, think of the last time you built something that wasn't a home or just a structure like this. I feel like that is really kind of the best method I have for learning, is go outside of your comfort zone. Instead of building a medieval house, build a steampunk house. Or even not a steampunk house, but a steampunk boat. Do things that you think would take forever and that you don't think you'd be good at, just to get better at it, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard for me to get my thoughts perfectly together while I'm building, but realistically, that is the best thing I can say. And realistically, this came from a comment that I got, kind of asking these questions, like how to get better. And really, it's just go outside of your comfort zone. This village is kind of doing that for me, because I've never really used these blocks together. First of all, I've never done that style ever. The number one thing I ever do is the teepee, which that is an example in its own. Everyone does these style of roofs, but when you really, play around, you get those kind of things, and I think those look phenomenal. And I'm like, how come I've never built like that before? I think it's that people don't want to build something and then have to break it down. They don't want to do that process, especially in survival mode, because in creative on a server, you can easily just, use world edit to delete it away. I feel like that is kind of the best thing you can do to get better at building those. Just tackle those projects that you don't think you'd be good at. So yeah, and there we go. The farm is done. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna just, yeah, I've overused that joke, haven't I? I see a lot of you in the comments saying, oh yeah, here goes that joke again. But anyways, guys, it is getting dark and I'm gonna go sleep really quickly. Alright, I think that's a good example of how we're gonna be doing this farm. So the way I have it planned out is we're gonna kind of do these curved kind of, moon-shaped farms with leaves as a divider. So I'm gonna do another row back here and then another set of leaves, and that will be the end of this area. And then over there we'll do the same, and then of course in the middle. Over here is more gonna be the pathway leading up to the keep. But I just feel like that really looks a lot better than just straight rows, and that's another example of what we were talking about. So I'm going out of my comfort zone by just, really doing these organic looking farms, and I think it's really gonna benefit the way this village looks, and I'm learning a new style. So just to kind of show you guys how I'm doing this, I'm basically just kind of carving out this line using our wonderful tool of justice here, and then just kind of thickening it up just by adding a few more rows and then adding a few pieces that just stick out. That's it. That's how to do it. Except for the fact that we're now getting to an area where we don't have any water. That's not good. I guess the water doesn't expand that far, so I need to go get some more water, and I'm gonna finish kind of getting this land tilled. But yeah, I think this has been a pretty good episode so far. I really enjoy these talks, and I can tell my dog in the background doesn't. She's getting a little wild. Occasionally, you guys will probably hear noises going on kind of in the background. That is, and forever always will be, my dog Nova. And I love my dog. I love both of my dogs, but man, is Nova one wild one. Alright, that should be good. Sorry about that. There was some weird noises going on outside. I don't know if y'all heard it, but like, just a random amount of bass. It sounded like someone was just blaring something on in their car. Something, I don't know. It sounded like something from a Marvel movie, though. Just a very, very large amount of bass. That was weird. Anyways, yeah. So my dog Nova. That's what we were talking about. So she is a fantastic dog. She's like a lab and pit mixed, I think. It's a very interesting style. I know that for a dog, but very, very beautiful dog. She is about 1 year, not quite 1 year, about 8 months old. And she's already one of the biggest dogs I've ever seen. Now, it's not the biggest, but, I'm not used to having big dogs because I've always had smaller pets. And man, is she just a gigantic dog. She's heavy and just a clunk. But it's adorable, it really is. But see, sometimes you'll hear in the background because she is a rather obnoxious dog and she does not like to be quiet. And I have to, when I'm recording, of course, I have to have my dogs be quiet. So I usually end up either putting them in their cage or just kind of giving them a toy to play with and just be quiet. And they don't like it. Well, Navi's fine with it, but man, Nova sure isn't. I am at a bone meal already. That is so not good, man. Oh yeah, that should do it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be running out of bone meal anytime soon. But realistically, we're probably not even going to need anywhere close to that. So I've actually probably just messed up because I don't think I can get this bone meal back into bone block like mode. Because I'm pretty sure you have to use bones to do that. Or is it just 4? It's not. I don't know. I did it a long time ago, and now I don't remember the recipe. Yeah, I don't use bone meal often. I usually just let it grow, but just for style, I'm going to go ahead and do it just to show you guys exactly what we're wanting to do here, which I'm actually probably going to keep cutting here in a moment and go to actually finishing off the entire farm because this is the style I'm going to use. So I'm not just going to keep doing the same thing on camera. But yeah, all right, so that should pretty much be it. Now I want to go, actually, I guess we have bone meal. We could just kind of, oh man, I almost ruined that. Do that and break the flowers out. At least that way we get flowers. But I want to just show you the entire design here. Obviously, there's going to be a pathway over here, so this isn't going to be completely accurate. But the idea is that it's a very overgrown, not really, you know, kept too well. I mean, it is, you know, like plucked and everything. I guess that's the word. Like, they do obviously cut the wheat and kind of replant it, but they don't necessarily go and cut the grass around it. I like the idea of this whole place being overgrown. And Electric Geckos, I'm gonna call you out real quick because I've seen your comments, and you have said that you think the leaves are a little too high here on the side. I hear you, and I am totally gonna make that adjustment. I just don't know how yet, and I haven't tried. But I do plan on doing that. That way it doesn't look way too overgrown like it already does. But I do like how it looks on the trees, but the solo bushes just don't look good like that. So I am gonna try and fix that soon. But yeah, okay, so this should all be done. Just need to make sure we don't have any extra, like, you know, flowers laying around. And let's come over here and grab this one. And then I want to just shove everything in here. We have way too many flowers and everything now. And kind of get a good bird's eye view of this. So let's try and find a good place. Or better yet, I could just stack up and try and get a good view that way. Or better yet, we could fly. So I am using spectator mode right now. I forgot that I told you guys I would be using that and that you were okay with me using spectator mode. So I'm not in creative, totally in spectator mode, and I'm getting some bad frame rate. I guess it's because I'm in spectator mode. I don't know. But yeah, so this is what it looks like so far. I think that's a really, really cool design. It's a little more thick than I want it to be on that outside one, or the inner one, kind of more close to the trees, but that's fine because it is kind of on the outskirts, and to do that and properly fill up the space, we kind of had to do that. So that's the design I'm doing for this farm. It's going to be just, you know, wheat and then spaced out by leaves, and then wheat spaced out by leaves, just like that all the way around throughout this entire village. So what I'm going to really quickly do is just go ahead and get all of it placed and kind of get back to you guys so we can see what the final product looks like. But that is how we're going to do the farm for this village. With this fish mod, I was very curious as to whether or not fish actually go towards the bobber. I don't think they do, though, because I did just see it dunk down a moment ago, and nothing swam towards it. So I guess... okay, we just got a fish. Did I catch it? I didn't. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we got a puffer fish, but I don't think that actually had anything to do with these guys. I don't know. In the last episode, you guys remember I mentioned this just a few fish mod, which I love. And I think you guys like it too. It's really cool. It really adds a lot. I wish that was just something that was in default. But I'm going to let this guy go. The sad truth is that that doesn't matter. That doesn't help the fish. He's already dead. It's so sad. But yeah, so I got the farm done, and it looks freaking phenomenal. And I'm going to show you guys by swooping around, and we're going to go on top of the hill, and you're going to see it as I kind of walk closer. It's going to be like, I almost said King of the Hill, but Lion King. So check this out, guys. Bam! Oh yeah, that is phenomenal. And you know, I really want to get like a bird's eye view, but I can't at the moment because I don't know what it is, but my frame rate in this area dies down terribly. It could be because of the wheat, realistically, or the leaves. So I might have to figure out if there's something I can do to fix that. But yeah, this is just a phenomenal looking farm design. And once we add this pathway in, it's going to look even better. And I do want to go ahead and try and do that pathway design, but I don't know if I'll have time realistically. But let's go ahead and kind of get started. And the way I usually do it is just laying down kind of some jungle wood at the start. And what I'll do is just kind of use my shovel to go around the path. That should be good. But yeah, this farm design is really unique, really, really cool. And I'm very, very happy with it. And I'd love to get your opinion on it. So let me know down below in the comments what you think. Because I think it is really different. And I kind of wanted that for this village. Now, the only downside is that we're getting very limited on space. And as you guys know, we're building this village kind of with the idea of doing a slime monster. That's going to be very hard if we don't have anywhere to put it. So my idea is that we're going to kind of dig into the actual forest a little bit and do it so that the slime monster is kind of coming out of the forest and destroying things. So I'll probably have one more house somewhere that's like halfway destroyed. Something like that. Or maybe it's even further down in the forest and it's just on its way. I don't know. I know that what I originally kind of envisioned for this village is totally different from what we have now. Like, way different. So, yeah, there's been a lot of changes, but I actually really do like how this has all come together so far. I think it's pretty unique, pretty cool. You know what, before I do anything, I want to fix that because I'm not going to remember that that's where that all goes. So we'll do that, and this is all just temporary. It all kind of changes after you get more blocks placed, but this is just to kind of get where the pathway is and kind of develop the shape and all that kind of stuff. So I need to thicken this out a little bit more and then get rid of that. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea for what we have left. So from what I understand, there are a few more farms I will have to place, and then we've got the keep, obviously, which I think I have a style for. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still kind of deciding on that, but we have to do the keep. We have to build the windmill. I have to finish the buildings, which realistically I don't really have too many more left. I think we only have about 3 more actual houses to do. And then that will pretty much be it, other than the actual slime monster. So we should definitely be finished in time for episode 100, which is awesome because that's what I was mainly concerned about. But yeah, so this pathway will pretty much finish up this entire side of the town, which, like I said, it's basically a farming village, so there's not really much to it. This is all that's required. So I don't really have much more wood to finish that out, but that's fine, because not all of this is going to be here. Like, as you guys can see over here, I kind of tear it up with other blocks, so we're going to do that really quickly, and that should give us a lot more blocks to work with in terms of jungle wood, which is awesome. So I'm going to start by just kind of breaking a few random blocks throughout the place, and then we're going to add coarse dirt and then the terracotta. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get this going just so we can save some time in the episode, as we're getting very close to the end, and I will be right back. Alright, now that we have the coarse dirt placed, we need to add terracotta kind of mixed within this jungle wood just to add a little bit more texture. And then after that, we've got to add pathways. And then that'll be pretty much it for the hard blocks. Then obviously just a little small decorations. Alright, we've got the path blocks, and now there's really only one thing I would do other than adding in the cobblestone and leaves all around this border and everything. Those are kind of the last details you want to put, but really the last thing is something I've only really been doing in this particular town, and it's something that might not really work that well in other locations, but if you're kind of doing something similar to what I'm doing here, then you can definitely try this. But if you get spruce wood and kind of add in stairs and slabs along your pathway, it kind of will add this sense of depth and like kind of a, you know, beaten down path. Like, as you can see here, we've got these little stairs that kind of create this sense of, like, I don't really know what it would be called, but kind of trenches on the side. Not necessarily trenches, but something smaller, just like a little dent in the road. I feel like that actually helps a lot, and it's definitely something I do recommend trying. Now, it can really make it look way too messy if you do it wrong, so definitely just play around with it. Like I said, this whole episode is based around building, and the #1 tip I have for building is to try things. So this is an example of that. If you don't try, you'll never know, right? You'll never know if it looks good. So like in this case, I'll probably have to remove half the blocks that I've just placed, but at least it gives me a starting idea of what I'm working with. That is what our final project looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and go into spectator mode here so we can get a view from above. I think that looks freaking phenomenal, and once we add those 2 builds kind of there and there, it'll look a lot better. Pardon the frame rate, like I said. Now, there are a few things I'm going to do, like adding fence posts around. I just feel like that kind of helps kind of keep the pathway, refined and make it, noticeable, and that, you can add a torch or 2 on top of them. But yeah, that is pretty much the town. There's a few more things I'm going to add in terms of trees and a little small farms, but that's pretty much it. We've got a windmill to add over there. Some more landscaping to do there too. Those two builds. I've got to connect that pathway over here and then add this little landscaping around the like little ridge there. And then of course the keep, and that'll pretty much be it for the actual build, which is amazing. And anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of the Minecraft Let's Play. We are getting really far with this project in this series. I don't even know what my next project's gonna be, and it's a little scary because we're almost done with this one. So let me know what you think the next project should be, and then of course what the name should be, and just anything that's flowing around in your mind. Let me know down below. I'd love to talk and have this discussion. And guys, can we get 150 thumbs up on this video? Probably not, but it's worth the challenge. Anyways guys, my name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching.